All righty, guys. Well, guess what? It is me, Romacio Fulcher, your host. I'm here today as the host and the speaker. We don't have Mrs. Meredith with us today, but we gave her some time off. Well, listen, I want to welcome everybody to another Sunday Keep It Pro training call. We've been doing this call, guys, for a little over 8.5 years. If you're new to the line, as I said, we've been doing this for the last 8.5 years. Every single Sunday, 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, right here on this line. If this is your first time chiming in, let me just kind of give you a quick overview of what you can expect from being on this call. When you're on this line, guys, there's two specific things that we teach and train on every single Sunday. Number one, we teach the specific skills that you need to get yourself to the very top of whatever business job that you may be promoting. Whether it's a job, small, whether it's a business, small, medium, or large, makes no difference. We teach you the specific skills that you need to get to the top and to stay on top. In addition to that, guys, we also teach life skills, better known as faith-based principles. So in addition to specific skills, we're going to teach you faith-based principles as well. So if that's right up your alley, if that's your jam, this is the place where you need to be absolutely free every single Sunday at 4 o'clock Pacific. All of these calls, guys, they're always recorded, instantly uploaded to our YouTube channel. For those of you that may not know, you can find us on YouTube at Romacio Fulcher, Romacio Fulcher. Last 8.5 years, every single call that we've done is on that YouTube channel. Good news is it's absolutely free. We don't charge you anything. There's no pivots where we say, hey, can you give us a credit card for this event or for this or that? No, it's absolutely a free call. Now you say, why do we do a free call? What's that all about? The reason why we do that, one of the principles that we're going to teach you is the following. We believe what we make happen for others, God will make it happen for us. I'm going to say that again. We firmly believe that what we make happen for others, God will make it happen for us. I want you to understand that's not a riddle. That's not a rhyme. It's a principle. It's a principle. It's the principle of giving. I know everybody that's listening, both live and those of you that will listen to the replay. I know that we're all waiting on something. Everybody's waiting on promotion, waiting on this, waiting for the weight to fall off, waiting for the check to come, waiting for this, waiting for that. We're all waiting on something. And we all know that while you're waiting, the way you wait has to do with how long the wait will be. Let me say that again. The way that you wait. If you're waiting with anxiety, it's never going to happen, depression, and all that type of stuff, then you're going to make your wait much longer. And the principle that we're here teaching you, and we've been teaching this for the last 8 years, guys, the main principle that we're teaching is about giving. It's about giving. I tell people all around the world that your income is not determined by what you make. Your income is determined by what you give. And that's why we want you to buy into the principle, the philosophy, what you make happen for others, God will make it happen for you. In other words, you are an instrument. You're an instrument. I understand you have a job, you have a business. I get all that. But also, guys, there's something inside of you. It might be a hug. It might be a smile. It might be some simple information that you came across that someone has been searching high and low for, and you have the answer. It might be, a skill that you possess, that someone's been looking for that, needs that, and that would definitely make their world. It would definitely, be a huge game changer if they could find someone that could do what you do. So here's the point. Here's the principle. What you make happen for others, God will make it happen for you. Now, in order for you to really, really buy into that and really start living that, that would mean you have to understand that you are the answer to other people's problems. You are the answer to someone else's problem. When I look in the world, guys, I see a beautiful world. I do. I really do. When I look at the world, I do. I see a beautiful world. I do see that we are flawed. Let me just be the first to tell you, I'm flawed. I know you're flawed, right? We're all flawed, but within those flaws that we have, we also are a beautiful people. We have talents, gifts, and abilities that we all have harnessed. We've grown it over time. We have something to offer. You know, I know some of you may feel, based upon your situation and how life may be going for you, you may feel busted and disgusted. You may feel that you don't have much to offer. And I'm going to be honest with you, that's probably your biggest mistake. It's probably your biggest mistake. You know, I know some of you say, well, who do I think I am? I'm Romacio Fulcher. Make no mistake about it. I said what I meant, and I meant what I said. Every single person listening, both live and to the replay, you have something to offer. Yes, you do. I don't care how busted and disgusted you may be. I don't care, you know, your money may not be right, your health may not be right, your relationship may not be where you want it to be or whatever. Nevertheless, you see, you're looking at one side of the coin. I would encourage you to flip it over. You have something to offer. Now, the moment you begin to realize that, that's when the world changes for you. The moment when you begin to realize that you have something to offer, that's when things are really going to shift for you. Let me say it again. I'm saying it 3 times intentionally. The moment you realize that you have something to offer, that is when it's going to change for you. I'm going to say it one more time just for good measure. The moment you realize that you have something to offer, that is when it's all going to begin to change for you. And so the reason, guys, why we talk about this principle, this philosophy of what we make happen for others, that God will make it happen for us, because I want you to understand that God, he's in the giving business. You can't outgive the giver. God is in the giving business. He's generous. He's kind. He's thoughtful. He's in the giving business. And he loves us so much, according to John 3:16, that he gave his only begotten son. The only pure thing that he possessed, his son, Jesus Christ, he gave him for us. Okay? And so if you really want to know what the Spirit of Christ is like, or what God's Spirit, how do you know God's Spirit is present? Anytime you are giving anything, that is the Spirit of Christ. Anytime you are giving absolutely anything, I don't care if it's a smile, anything positive that you're giving, a hug, information, this call, whatever it may be, that is the Spirit of Christ. Now, why is giving so important? Even though this is not the theme of today's call, we're going to be getting to that in about 2 minutes. But I want those of you, as we get ready to cross into 2025, I want you to really understand that you keep waiting on your boss to determine your promotion. You keep waiting on someone to recognize and see your ability. You keep waiting on someone else. And I'm here to challenge your thinking. Today is going to be a very thought-provoking call, very thought-provoking. I'm here to challenge the way that you're looking at the picture. I would tell you, you're looking at it wrong. Stop waiting for someone else to notice you. Stop waiting on someone else to give you approval to go forward. I'm going to teach you today a principle, a biblical principle that literally comes from God. I didn't make this up. And it has to do with giving. It has to do with servitude. And that's why I want you, once and for all, even though your things may not be the way you want them to be, I want you to understand that you are valuable, and I want you to start looking at it through the lens of, what can I offer? What do I have to give? What can I offer? Let's say you're a person, you've made a lot of mistakes in life. Guess what? Me too. And I'm looking forward to making a lot more. Well, guess what? I can give wisdom to people that maybe they don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. Let's say you're a person that didn't make so many mistakes and you tried to live a life, close to the, following the rules, et cetera, et cetera. Guess what? You can actually teach people, you can give people discipline. Discipline is what's made you where you are today. Look, I could talk to you for hours and hours and hours. The point is, guys, you have something to give. Stop looking in the mirror saying, woe is me. Why would anybody want to listen to me? I haven't made any money. Look at me. I'm really fat and overweight. Look at me. I'm still working at the same job 30 years later. What do I have to tell you? let me tell you something. I'm 46 years young today. And let's just say if you're listening to the call, and let's say you're 60 or 65, or let's just say you're 66. You're 20 years older than me. Without me even knowing your name, without me even knowing your name, you have been on this planet 20 years longer than I. So there's something you can tell me that can help me be better than where I am today. Everybody has something that they can give. If I had more time today, I would direct you to the Bible, and I would tell you the Bible is nothing more than a book of seeds. If you read and study the Bible from a principle perspective, you will learn all of these seeds. Think like a farmer. When you plant a seed, every seed reproduces after its own kind, okay? So if you start learning how to make things happen for others by contributing, by giving, okay, when you plant that seed of generosity, what do you think comes back to you? More of the same seed. When you plant the seed of complimenting others, and maybe they're just despair, and maybe that's a friend of yours or an associate or a family member, and you encourage them, what do you think comes back to you? Every seed reproduces after its own kind. This is what it means when we say, what you make happen for others, God will turn right back around and make it happen for you. You get it? You got it? Do you understand now? Absolutely. That's great. All right. Well, let's move on, guys. What we want to do now is we want to turn the page to the theme of today's call, which I'm eager and excited to get into it today. I want to warn you guys, today's call is going to be fire, so you better be ready. Don't worry about if you have a pen or paper, but I want to encourage you before we even get started, I want you to re-listen to this call a couple of times before the final call of 2024, which is next Sunday. I repeat, I'm asking you to re-listen to this call that we're about to do right now at least 2 times between now and the final call of 2024, which is next Sunday at 4 o'clock Pacific. Would you commit to doing that? Will you commit to doing that? I promise you, won't be any mistakes. You'll more than thank me for me giving you this assignment. All right. The theme of today's call, if you saw the flyer, is do not ever skip steps. Do not ever skip steps. One more time, do not ever skip steps. For those of you that are just joining in, I don't want to assume that you've been with us the entire 2024. At the beginning of the year, we told the entire world that 2024 is the year of intentional faith and healthy habits. What does that mean? It simply means this is the year, guys, 2024, where all year long, whether times have been good or bad, we as a collective, we have consciously and consistently placed our faith. We've been intentional with our faith, where we've been very specific for what it is that we are believing for. That's what it means to be intentional with your faith. We've been very intentional. Yeah, you might have seen me in the streets, shake my hand, hey, Moss, how you doing? I had a smile on my face or whatever. But inside of me, I'm talking about my faith. I've been very, very intentional about what I'm believing for. Now, when I say intentional faith, guys, what that represents is, yes, when I pray, I'm praying about what it is I'm believing for. Okay, number one, I'm praying to God to do the impossible because I believe, Philippians 4:13, I believe all things are possible through Christ. I believe I can do all things through Christ. I believe that. And where my limitations may be, God has no limits, right? So I'm believing in the supernatural when I pray for what I'm believing for. That's number one. But number two, as it relates to what I'm believing for, I'm also doing the work. I am moving forward with my thought process, with my continence, with my actions, I am moving forward towards what I want. Day in and day out, I'm moving forward. It's not enough to sit there and pray about it and think it's going to fall off the sky. You're mistaken. So when we say that 2024 is the year of intentional faith, we together as a collective have been intentional with what we are believing for. Each person that is joined in on this conference bridge, both live and those that are listening abroad, overseas, on the replay, every single person, every single one of them, they've all been very intentional about what it is that they're believing for. Okay, and I just broke that down for you. But we also said 2024 is the year of intentional faith and healthy habits. And this is the second part of it, healthy habits, where it's not enough just to believe. You've got to put a habit, you've got to attach a habit to your believing. The Bible says faith without works is absolutely dead. What's that mean? It means it's just not enough. It won't happen for you if all you do is just believe for it, pray for it. No, you got to work for it too. So you got to believe and work together. That's why we want to combine or attach a habit to your intentional faith. So that's what 2024 has been about. Today is the second to the last call of it's the second to the very last call of 2024, okay? So this is why I want you to re-listen to this call, and the theme of today's call is do not ever skip steps. Do not ever skip steps. Guys, I want to really, really break this down for you. God is not human. I could scream at the top of my lungs, and I can't make God do anything. I can't make him move faster than he already intended. I could scream and holler and jump up and down all day long, and I cannot influence God to move any faster than what he already has set in motion. What am I saying? What I'm saying to you is that many of us have been believing, and you've been believing, and sometimes you'll get discouraged along the way while believing for something that you cannot see. I want you to understand God is not upset with you because you got discouraged. I want you to understand you're absolutely human and you're absolutely normal to sometimes get discouraged. That's a part of the process. That's part of it. But the one thing that I want to really concentrate on this afternoon with you guys is do not ever skip steps. You see, the tendency sometimes when you want something really, really bad, no matter what it is we try and microwave it. In other words, if it was intended to take an hour to produce, for example, we try and get it in 5 minutes out the microwave. I'm painting a picture for you. And when we try and microwave something that was intended to take time, when we try and microwave it, thinking that we can attain it or get there faster, we skip many steps. We skip many steps along the way. Let me paint a clearer picture for you. You see, the reason why you have to be careful with social media, specifically Facebook and Instagram and all of these Snapchats and all of whatever the social media that you use, you have to be very careful not to get seduced. You have to be very careful to not get influenced by an Instagram. You see, it's an it's instant. It's a picture that somebody took. Oftentimes they crop it and they make the picture look better than what it really was, because they want to showcase to the world everything is going just fine in my life, right? Now, what I'm saying to you is this. You have to be very, very careful when you start comparing yourself against other pictures and images that you see on television or on social media. You must be extremely careful. See, the tendency is to believe, well, wait a minute, maybe I must be doing something wrong while they're doing something right. Maybe God needs a little help with my vision. Maybe God needs a little help with my dream. Maybe God needs a little help with my promotion. Maybe he's so busy servicing other people that he just needs me to help him out a little bit. So I'm gonna skip a few steps, and I'm just gonna start doing what Johnny does. I want to give you a live, real example about my own life really quickly about not skipping steps. And I'm just going to condense this very short to give you the meat of the matter. 5 years ago, when I pivoted and transitioned into the current profession that I'm in right now, and for those of you that don't know, I'm in the commodities space, I'm in the finance space, and I'm in the trading space. That's the space that I've been in for the last 5 years. Long story short, when I got into this space 5 years ago, a friend of mine called me, someone that I do respect, and they recommended that I try this space out. They thought it would be really good for me. They connected me with someone that they knew, and long story short, I got started. I tried it out, and within a couple of months, some great things had started to happen to me within 2 months of being in this space. Some things that I had never experienced happened to me before. These were some positive things. And I realized quickly that I was involved in this space and I did not have a vision. And those of you that do know me, as opposed to those of you that don't, I am a very purposeful man. Everything I do it with purpose. Everything I do, I always have a vision. If there's one cheat code I can give you, always move with purpose. You are created with purpose. You were created with purpose, and you were created for a purpose. He's never made a mistake. So I want to encourage you to always move with purpose. Always have a vision for anything you do. I don't care what it is you're doing. I don't care what it is you're doing. Always have a vision. The Bible talks about where there's no vision, people perish. And it doesn't, when they say people perish, it doesn't mean that they instantly fall out and die physically. No, it means all of a sudden they die internally. They have no reason for living. And that means that they just accept anything. And you never want to be that. Okay, so I was involved in this profession 5 years ago. And for the first 2 months, I did not have any vision at all, none. And I instantly stopped and I said, God, I need you to give me a vision about why am I here? Is this the place I should be or not? Long story short, God responded within a short period of time, and he confirmed this is the space he wanted me to be in to birth many of the dreams and visions that I want to do. This is the space where I needed to be. Now, here's the best part of what I have to tell you. God gave me one extra instruction. This is 5 years ago. He gave me one instruction. He confirmed that I was in the right space, but he told me specifically one thing. I wish I could lie to you and say that he told me 2 or 3 things. He did not. He told me one thing. He specifically said to me, loud and clear, he said, Romacio, stay close to me. This is what God said. God told me to stay close to him. Now, you hearing those words, guys, that may not mean anything to you. Me hearing those words, I clearly understood what those words meant. God told me to stay close to him. Here it is, 5 years have gone by. And I got to tell you guys, being in this space that I'm in, I have met some of the most shadiest people. I don't know what to tell you. I've met so many scam artists and so many sharks and so many just, ill-intended people and just shady people and scams and slime balls. I cannot tell you how many people all around the world that are shady within this space. And I say that to you Because God told me 5 years ago, stay close to him. In other words, God, when he gave me the instruction 5 years ago, he knew what I would encounter on my 5-year journey. He knew what was in this space. Even though he confirmed that I'm in the right space. But see, the theme of today's call is don't ever skip steps. So me being in this space over the last 5 years, I have questioned several times, God, are you sure this is for me? And God said, he confirmed it again and again and said, yes, yes, yes. This is exactly where I want you to be. I want you to write this down. Depending upon who you are, I'll say it nice and slow, depending upon who you are and the gifts and the abilities that have been given to you, God oftentimes will send you in a dark space to bring light. Let me say it again. Depending upon who you are and the gifts that have been given to you, oftentimes God will purposely place you in a deep, dark place so that you can be the light. What am I saying? What I'm saying to you is, a lot of times people think if they're going through a bad situation, they think God's not in it. Oh, God, this must not be where God wants me to be. This must not be where God wants me to be, because things aren't happening quick enough, and things are just, things are going bad for me, and I'm going through struggle and trial after trial and tribulation after tribulation, and it's just things don't look good. So God must not be here. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Let me say it again. Wrong, wrong, wrong. When God told me to come to this space and he confirmed that this is the right space, he gave me one instruction, because I'm the type of person, if you give me any more than one instruction, that's too many. If you give me anything more than one, that's too many. So God knew how to talk to me. He gave me one instruction: stay close to him. That's all he said. That's all he's ever said. Stay close to him. Because he knows when I stay close to him, it's going to strengthen me. It's going to prepare me. It's going to stretch me. It's going to give me deeper perspective. It's going to give me greater insight. It's going to refuel me. It's going to strengthen me. It's going to guide me. It's going to protect me. It's going to spare me. It's going to give me what I need to stay on this journey. Because God knew if I didn't stay close to him, the tendency would be to quit, or I would try to find a way to skip steps. How can I make it happen faster? Now, I want all of you that are listening to this call, as I'm talking about my situation, I want you to think about your life and your situation. And I want you to answer these questions. Have you tried to make it happen faster for you? Have there been times when you just said, Lord, look, I can't take no more of this. You got to make this thing happen right now. Look, don't feel bad for telling the truth. We all sometimes try to make it happen faster, myself included. I remember when I first got into this space that I'm in, I thought God was going to do a very quick work. I thought my miracle was going to happen overnight. That's what I thought. But that's what I said. If you ever want to make God laugh, just tell him what you think. Just tell him your plans. But see, God knows what he's doing, but you can. That's why the Bible says, do not compare yourself against others. Don't do it. Because, see, God is preparing something in you. He's getting you ready for something. And what he's getting you ready for, it's going to be big. I promise you that. And listen, I just know that I know what I'm talking about. It's going to be big. It's going to be big. It's going to be big. The worst thing, let me tell you the worst mistake you can make. Oh, listen. The worst mistake you can make is to try and skip steps. Oh, woo! Let me explain. The worst mistake you can ever make is to try and skip steps so that you can get what you after faster and faster. That's the worst thing you can do. And the reason why it's the worst thing that you can do is because now when you skip steps, if you end up getting what it is you want, now you don't know how to sustain it. You don't know how to keep it. You don't know how to keep it because you skipped the steps. Listen, have you ever heard the old adage, whatever goes up must come down? Everything that's new was once old. Everything that's big once started small. Hello, is anybody listening? So for you to think that you're going to have a life with no struggle, with no challenges, wake up. You're in a dream. But here's the question. The making of a man is not how much money he has, how many women he's got, how many big houses he has, and how big his muscles are. That's not the making of a man. The making of a man is how he responds to life's adversities. How are you going to respond when it falls apart, when it breaks down? And it will. Write that down. How are you going to respond if it falls apart and it breaks down? Write this down. Romacio Fulcher just told you it will definitely break down. Absolutely. It's called an adversity. So if you skip the steps of preparation, then now it may look like you got the man of your dreams. It may look like you got the woman of your dreams, but now you don't know how to keep them. Looks like we done struck a nerve. This is what I'm telling you. You can't be listening to all that stuff that you hear on social media. All this advice and these women telling you how to get a man and this man telling you how to get the woman. I mean, they're telling you how to be robotic to do all these things, but what about the preparation of what it takes to be a good husband? What about the preparation it takes to be a good wife? What? I mean, sometimes, just for entertainment's sake, I'll spend a few minutes listening to some of this stuff. You know how you just stumble over stuff when you're bored sometimes. And I'm like, what are you telling these people? And then I'm just sitting there look at all these people. You're actually listening to this stuff. Like the blind leading the blind. When you don't know, you just don't know. When you don't know where to go. And I'm here to share with you today, don't skip steps. You want to be a strong man, you want to be a strong woman, don't skip steps. Learn to love your process. Listen, can I talk to my men just for 2 minutes, 3 minutes? You want to talk to my men out there? All my young men, my elder men. I want to talk to all men out there, all of them. And this includes boys. I'm going to talk to all of you real quick, just for 3 minutes, and I'm going to go to the women. Listen, let me tell you, a real man, I'm talking about somebody to be respected, somebody that will be honored amongst his peers, including his family, is a man that goes through the jungle of life, and he doesn't quit. He doesn't fight. When it gets tough, he gets tougher. When it gets hard, he gets hard. I'm not saying you won't cry. Yes, you will. I'm not saying you won't kick and scream. Yes, you will. I'm not saying sometimes you won't grab a bottle of alcohol. If that's your thing, sometimes you will. I'm not saying you won't defer to bad habits at times. Sometimes you will. Okay? But you don't quit. You don't wish for LeBron James' life. You don't wish for another man's life. You sit there, you look at your situation, and you say, this is my situation, and I'm going to grind my way through it. That's a man. Whatever your situation is, you don't become jealous. You don't become envious of another man. You become inspired by other men. And you say, if they can do it, then it's possible for me. If they can do it, if they can have it, then it's possible for me. And you take it one step at a time, and you grind your way to the top while you believe and you work. You work and you believe. You believe and you work. You work and you believe. That is the making of a man. I'm talking about an honorable man, a man that will be respected. You learn to look in the mirror and see the things that you like, and you learn to look in the mirror and see the things about yourself that you don't like. That is the making of a man. You don't skip steps. You don't skip steps. And listen, if there's some young lady out there that you're dating or that you want to date or want to be with and marry, and you got all this pressure on yourself to become a millionaire and all this stuff that, you got to become a millionaire because, inflation. So I got to become a millionaire because that's the only way the woman going to stay with me. If I ain't got no money, she ain't going to give me no honey. Then this is what you do. If you're a real man, you tell that young lady, why don't you go find somebody else? Ma'am, since you all that, ma'am, and you know what you want, and that's good for you, you go find somebody else. Meanwhile, I'm going to stay right here, and I'm going to keep working on myself. But I'm not going to speed up my process to go further in debt so I can keep you, and I don't know if you're going to be here 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now. Oh, no. So, lady, this is what you need to do. You need to shut it down, step to the side, and let me drive, okay? That's how you handle that. My point that I'm saying to you, don't let anybody ever make you skip steps. It is a natural tendency to want to have things quick and fast. We all do. Nobody ever thinks of their dream and says, you got this beautiful dream, and you start to say to yourself, oh, man, let me think of all the problems that are going to go wrong. Nobody ever thinks that. Nobody does. But life is full of adversities. Life is full of challenges. And the tendency is when there is a challenge, oftentimes many people think God is not present. And I'm telling you, that's exactly when you know God is in the making, because he's building something. The challenges are there to strengthen you. The challenges are there to remind you, Romacio, don't fall in love with these people in this commodity trading finance space. There's only one God. These people, Romacio, will tell you what you want to hear and make it sound all pretty, but they really are not who they're promoting themselves to be. This is why when God told me 5 years ago, stay close to him, he knew what I was going to encounter on the journey. God is truly for you. He will always be there with you. God truly, truly, truly wants the best for you. He's a great father. God loves you even when you don't love him. God is there for you even when you ain't even trying to even represent him. That's love. God knew that you were going to be in the situation that you're in right now over 2,000 years ago. He's so awesome, he already knew you was going to have that addiction. He already knew you was going to have that issue. He already knew you wasn't going to be able to figure it out. He already knew you was going to be crying right now. So this is why I'm telling you to stick with God. Trust him. Trust his process. I'm on here today. I'm not teaching you what I think. I'm not teaching you my opinions. I'm teaching you principles. Don't ever skip steps. Don't ever skip steps. Don't ever skip steps. There's no honor in skipping steps. If you're trying to build your body and you're lifting weights or doing cardio, whatever you're doing, don't skip steps. Do the work. You want to work with me? You want to be associated with me? You want to do great things and partner with me? I'm looking for people that want to do the work. Let me say it again. If you want to collaborate with me, you want to be a part of my network and pull on some of the resources that I have, and right now, baby, let me tell you, I got endless resources, endless. But I'm not giving it to you unless I know that you are of the same tribe as me. I'm looking for people that want to do the work. The work. And to do the work, it's a process. It's a process. And this is why we want to encourage you to show up on this call so that we can consistently encourage you along your journey. Because the tendency is to do what we call rubbernecking. And what does that mean? That's when you start looking to the left and you start looking to the right. And you start wishing for someone else's life. And how come I can't be like that? And what am I doing wrong? And what's wrong with me? And blah, blah, blah. No, you're looking at it wrong. That's the problem. Don't ever, ever wish for someone else's life. Don't ever do that. Don't ever, ever skip steps. Go through your process. It's what makes you into a man. It's what makes you into a woman. It's what makes you into a leader. Don't ever, ever skip steps. There's no honor in skipping steps. I remember I used to think I was a slow learner. I remember that as I was coming up. I remember that. People would finish the test faster than me. I would tend to be the last one. But that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. It took me a little bit longer to get things sometimes. But listen to me now. When I get it, baby, I got it. Did you hear me? When I finally get it, I got it. Let me explain. Some people would finish their schoolwork faster than me. Some people would leave the classroom of life quicker than me. What am I saying? You know how people go, oh, I get it. I understand. I get it. Oh, I get it. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got it. I got it. And they make you believe that they really understood it because they know how to get the right answer on a multiple choice question, or they know how to remember the right answer to write down on a test. So they automatically assume that they got the full understanding of the situation. And oftentimes people would generally beat me. And when I was younger, I used to feel slow. I used to feel like I used to feel like something was wrong with me. Why am I taking so long to get it? And old Fred over here, he was finishing in 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. What's wrong with me? See, I don't think that way anymore because I've matured, I've grown. And I've realized that I don't worry about what people on the left of me are doing. I don't worry about what people on the right of me are doing. I just focus on me. And if I don't understand something, I'll tell the person, excuse me, hold it, slow down. Can you explain that a little slower? Just explain it one more time, please. Okay. So are you saying this goes with this and then that goes with that? Is that, do I have it right? Oh, I don't have it right? Okay, let me explain it again. Does it go like this, 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 and this? Oh, I still don't got it right. Okay, no problem. So does it go like this, then that, then back to this, then that? Oh, that's right? Okay, fine. I finally got it now. See, I'm the type of person, when I get it, I got it. And once I got it, you ain't got to teach me no more. I'm gone. So I don't worry about comparing myself, competing with other people. I use other people as fuel. I use your success as encouragement because I know the principle of God, and I know the principle that God would never, ever allow you to have abundant, grandiose success, and he wouldn't allow it for me if I would subscribe to the same principles as you do. What am I saying? God has no respect of person. What he will do for one person, he will do for another. So to be jealous or envious is nonsense. I use other people's success as my inspiration to remind me that with Christ, all things are possible. But the tendency is to make you think that maybe you're doing it wrong. Maybe you live in the wrong state. Maybe you live in the wrong country. Maybe everything about you is wrong. And I'm telling you, listen, one of the things I noticed about studying many of the prophets in the Bible, and I'm not done studying yet, by the way, but one of the things I noticed, anytime God performed a miraculous miracle in the Bible, he always started with something that they already had. Oh, my God, my God, my God. Anytime God performed a miraculous miracle, he already started with something that they already had. If I had more time, I would love to point to the number one ingredient that Abraham had that allowed him at old age to finally birth a child. And his name was Isaac. If I had more time, I would love to point to, we all know who he is. I'd love to talk about Moses and how he had a speech impediment. And Moses was not the most confident man. By the way, you better do your homework. But Moses, I remember when he finally got to the Red Sea and he ran out of options, didn't know how he was going to lead the people across the sea. And he said, God, I know that you wouldn't bring me out here and make mockery of us when I followed your word. He said, God, I know I'm not perfect, but I followed what you told me to do. And God told Moses, he gave him an instant instruction. He said, extend your staff out. And he did what he was told. What's the point? I'm showing you how God took something little and did something miraculous. If I could just keep going through prophet after prophet after prophet after prophet after prophet, if I just had more time today, guys, I would point you to see how God, when you overlook what you have, God says, no, do you think I'm a fool? God is not a fool. Do you think God made a mistake? No. You're looking at it wrong. You got to learn how to start with what you have. That's why I spent so much time at the beginning of this phone call talking about the number one principle for the last 8 years I've been trying to teach you. What you make happen for others, God will make it happen for you. But see, some of you heard me, and you're sitting there thinking, but I don't have nothing to make happen for other people. Stop lying. You're looking at it wrong. Yes, you do. You got something. Yes, you do. Go look again. And if you're having a hard time finding what you got, stay tuned into these calls, and we'll certainly show you what you have. But God didn't make no mistake. So this is why I want you to stop wishing for other people's life. Stop trying to do and be like everybody else. Do you. Do you. Do you. The other day I was talking to someone and I said, listen, if you are looking for someone that's going to be on the grid, you will never find me because I'm not on the grid. If you're looking for someone that's inside the box, then you'll never find me. You won't connect with me. I'm not in the box. I'm not on the grid. I've never been in the box. Go ask my parents. That's why I got so many spankings, because I don't want to do it that way. And they kept, do it this. No, I don't want to do it. What about this way? And I understand my parents had to teach me discipline as a young man, and it was tough. That's why I got spanked so many times. But there's also a gift in that I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want to do what everybody else wants to do. I don't want to talk the way everyone else talks. I don't want to teach like everyone else. Because every time I start trying to conform to be like you, I'm a second-class citizen. Instead, what I do is I like to be encouraged by you so I can be a first-class citizen and be myself. And I realize I am an original, designer's original. You can look high and low, north and south, and you won't find no one like me. Period. It doesn't exist. I love when people say, hey, you remind me of so-and-so. Well, it's cool to be having loop reminders, but I want you to really look again, Frank, because when you look again, you're going to realize this dude is an original. I ain't seen nobody to do it like him. And the same could be said for you. This is why building your self-esteem, building your confidence building a relationship with Christ. And I said building. I didn't say it's instant. It's a build. It's going to happen over time. It's a journey. And as you do these things, you start to understand the meaning of the word process. Can you imagine taking some chicken out the freezer and immediately trying to eat it while it's frozen? It will not taste good. Why? Because you didn't let the chicken thaw out and take it through its process. Instead, you tried to skip steps and eat the chicken raw while it was frozen. You see, this is what happens when you try and skip steps in life. This is what happens when you try and have wealth so quickly, but you don't have the maturity of learning how to keep the wealth, grow the wealth, protect the wealth, and sustain it. So then all of a sudden, you lose it. Look, it's okay. Yes, God is in the restoration business. He can bring it back again, and he will. But what I'm trying to teach you right now is stop wanting to skip steps. This that I'm speaking to relates on your health. It relates to your relationship. It relates to your understanding of parenting. It relates to your job. It relates to your spirituality. It relates to the business and the level that you're at right now. Stop wanting to skip steps. And what you want to do, we've all heard it before. The baby crawls first, then the baby walks, and then the baby runs. He doesn't go from crawling to running. Don't skip steps. There is power in the process. There is wisdom in the process. There is so much character that's built in the process. If God would have blessed me too quickly, I would have lost it all. That's why he had to take me through a process. And when you go through a process, sometimes the tendency is we think it's taking too long. I know that I've said that before. I know I have. Have you? We tend to think that it's taking too long. Why does it have to take so long? I'm reminded of Abraham and Sarah. They thought the same thing, and that's why he couldn't wait and went and had a baby by the handmaid, because he thought it was taking too long. And God doesn't judge us. He knows that sometimes we get impatient. We do. We're human. But I'm here to tell you God is faithful. And I would like to encourage you to find meaning and purpose in the process. Now, how do you do that? It's going to be hard for you to find meaning and purpose in your process if you refuse to study. If you refuse to do the homework assignments that we give you on these calls, for free, by the way. If you refuse to begin to start educating yourself about the Bible. I didn't say you had to read it from cover to cover. I said start, okay? Just start. Start with just asking questions. Start with just showing up on the call. Start with just following the homework assignments that we give you from time to time on this call. It's going to be hard for you to stretch your perspective, your understanding about the word meaning and process if you refuse to learn more than what you already know. See, if you refuse to grow, that's when you get envious. That's when jealousy comes in. That's when bad things begin to germinate on the inside, because you're not willing to grow. So can you imagine a spirit that doesn't want to grow, but they want to go? Did you hear what I said? Can you imagine a spirit that doesn't want to grow, but they want to go forward in life? I don't want to grow, but mama, I want to go. I don't want to grow, but daddy, I want to go. It doesn't work that way. Because, see, what you put out, that's what you're going to get back. We talked about that at the beginning. If you're putting, think about seed, think like a farmer. If you're putting the work in, then prosperity has to come your way. If you're putting the work in, and let me tell you something about work. Work does not look pretty. real reconstructive work, real foundational work does not look pretty. Let me tell you what it looks like. You're confused. You get frustrated. I don't understand what this man is talking about. Mama, I'm tired. Daddy, I'm frustrated. You know, it's taking too long. Why he got to talk for an hour? How come this man can't get to his point in 10 minutes? Listen to me. Just like frozen chicken, brother, frozen chicken takes time to thaw out. Real constructive work takes time. But see, real knows real. Did you hear that? Real knows real. When you meet a real strong person, real knows real. I can tell you didn't been through the fire. I can smell the smoke coming off you now. I can tell you took time to curate this. I can feel that you're taking your time through your patience as you slowly, carefully walk me through the same understanding that you have. See, real understands real. But see, if it just happens to you quickly, all of a sudden there's no substance to your answers. If it happens to you too fast, all of a sudden you sound like a robot. There's no substance to your answers. And then when you come up against a real person that has real insight, real understanding, real strength, all of a sudden you don't look so sharp. This is why I'm telling you, you do not want to skip steps. The purpose of today's call is to remind you, learn to love your process. I know it's not easy, but learn to love it. And how are you going to do that? When you begin to study biblical principles and you begin to understand the purpose and the process of all things. God created every single one of us with a purpose and for a purpose. When you begin to understand the two P's of life, purpose and process, when you begin to understand the word process and you begin to ask yourself, where am I at in my process? Where am I at? God, help me understand at today's time, where am I at in the process of this promotion I'm looking forward to? Where am I at in the process of my understanding of how to be a good wife or a good husband or a good boyfriend or a good girlfriend? Where am I at, Lord? Help me understand, where am I at in my health process? You know, I'm learning that God can only use you according to the extent that you take care of yourself. Did you hear what I said? God can only, that health does matter. God can only use you to the extent that you take care of yourself. Hello, I'm talking to somebody. So, Lord, help me understand. It's not about big muscles and all that stuff, but where am I at in my process about understanding what I can do to better my own health? Help me understand. God, help me understand, where am I at in my understanding, in my process of being a father or being a mother? Help me understand. Help me understand where I'm at. See, without understanding where you're at in the process, we tend to just duplicate what our mothers and fathers taught us. And that's not always good or great, depending upon who your mother and father was. So you always want to understand, where are you at in the process? And to do that, the best ways to glean and understand where you're at in the process is to study biblical principles of men and women that have come before you. They were just as human as you. They had all the same frailties you have. They had all the same ambition and goals and desires and wants and needs as you do. But understand. See, that's what history is for. It's so powerful if we choose to study it. If we choose, you know, all great successful businessmen and women, they all love to learn about history. If you don't know anything about history, then how are you going to know where you're at? And more, and better than that, how are you going to know where you're going? You don't have any metrics to compare it to. So I want to encourage you guys one last time. Don't ever skip steps. Don't ever skip steps. It's one of the biggest mistakes you can make in your life is to want something before it's truly ready for you. Grow into the desires of your life. Grow into the desires of your life. Everything that you desire that's grand comes with great responsibility. You want a family? It comes with responsibility. You want a gorgeous, amazing woman inside and out? It comes with responsibility. You want I hate this word. This is everybody been saying this word. I don't, this is the words that y'all say. You want a high value man and all this crap? If that's what you want, it comes with responsibility. Everything that you want comes with responsibility. Grow into it, guys. Grow into it. Grow into it. And how do you do that? Don't skip steps. Do the work. Do the work. Wherever you're at in your journey, you need to understand that's where you're at. God is right there with you. He's developing you. He's building in you. And you need to get excited about the process. I don't like when men or women love to tell me about all their successes and how wonderful life is for them today. That is the most boring thing I hate to listen to. What I like to hear is tell me about the process, baby. I can see you on top of Mount Everest now. I can see you're doing well now. You're feeling yourself. You got your swagger. I can feel your energy. But can you please take me back and tell me about your journey? I want to connect with your scars. I want to connect with the backside of the blessing, the part when it was difficult, hard, ugly, confusion. I want to hear the time when you thought about taking your own life. That's what I want to hear. Tell me about the iceberg that's below the surface. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down here today, because I got to tell you, next week's call is going to be over the top. I can't wait for you to be here next Sunday. I want you to go ahead and mark your calendars now, guys. Tell a few friends. It's going to be an awesome, awesome, awesome over-the-top call on the 29th of December, 2024. As we told you, this is the year of intentional faith and healthy habits. And today's call, the theme of it, was don't ever skip steps. I hope that we have made the message quite clear today. God is with you every step of the way, even when you don't think he's there. He's in the process. All right, guys, listen, I'm Romacio Fulcher, the California Kid. I want to thank you for listening. I want to encourage you to listen to this call, as I said, at least 2 times between now and next Sunday. And I'll see you next Sunday on the call. Thanks for joining in. Goodbye for now, everybody. Bye-bye.